Emma Dent-Coad.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, and I do acknowledge the work of the government to date over the summer, and I was also working on it, of course, but I do have two issues of outstanding concern. It's clear that the rehousing of Grenfell survivors and evacuees has fallen disgracefully behind schedule, and we know that some of the homes offered to them within 3 weeks were completely unsuitable. The school year began today, and students are shortly beginning university from inadequate accommodation in hotels with no space to study. Their grades will suffer, as will those of the young man who was also taking his GCSEs the morning of the fire, arrived there in his underwear at school, was given clothes to wear, who didn't have the fabulous good fortune of the young woman you spoke about, who's had no consideration and he's lost his place at school, which I find disgraceful.
It's terrible.
In addition to hear his response on that, I'd like to ask the Secretary of State to address the provision of mental health services. The so far unsubstantiated press story that we heard today about the potential number of attempted suicides is very unsettling for a community still under huge stress. While the NHS Foundation rebuttal today stated that nearly 4,000 people have been contacted, there are still many survivors and their families who feel forgotten and neglected and are not getting the help. My question is, what will the Secretary of State be doing to ensure that trust is restored among these very vulnerable people and that they get the help that they need?
First of all, can I again take this opportunity from this dispatch box to thank the Honourable Lady for the work that she's been doing ever since this tragedy to bring comfort to her constituents, and we will continue to work with her closely. She's mentioned a particular case around education and a young man, I think she said, that's been excluded from a school. If she could bring forward any details of that to my team, we will certainly take a careful look at that. So that kind of thing absolutely, certainly should not be happening. She specifically asked about mental health support, something I've talked about just a moment ago, but she's right to highlight this because this is absolutely one of the key things that we must all work together, both through the Council, through the NHS Trust, through government, to make sure it's being provided to all those that need it. And I can, after this statement, send her even more details about exactly what's being done. If she wants to discuss it further, we're happy to do that with her. But I think that from what the work that the NHS Trust in particular has done, especially by reaching out to residents, by the process of knocking on doors, going to hotels, engaging the Samaritans as well to provide a different avenue of support that might be more welcome by certain residents, I think it's important, but I think it's important also to continue to look for other ways to provide that support.